Welcome back to episode 4 of Rate My Portfolio, a series we're doing here on the channel where you guys, the community, can submit your portfolios for review, where I give you a score, I give some light feedback. I'm going to be adding a little section to the end, how I would edit this portfolio if it was mine, what coins I would change out to get this score higher. But I want to start off by saying, Alex, this is your portfolio. I love this portfolio, and there's very few changes I would make. And one of the reasons why is because this one is simple. Note to everybody else, sometimes simple is best. But for more on that, make sure to stick around for the entire video. Smash that like and hit subscribe. But first, we got to roll an intro. I want to remind everybody that this is not a video about financial advice. This is a portfolio review that I would say, if it was mine, how would I edit it? It is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Alex does not have to change anything here. He can do whatever he wants. Same with you guys. But hopefully you hear some of my reasoning and my thoughts, and you get some ideas about maybe how you can tailor your portfolio. And by the way, if you enjoy the video, not only should you smash like and hit subscribe, but if you want to join our free Discord and submit your own portfolio to potentially be used in one of these videos, make sure to check out those links down below in the description. But with that said, let's get going into the review of this portfolio. If you have not watched any of this series, we have 5 different sections that I am scoring this on. Number 1 is going to be coin selection. Would I choose these coins myself? Number 2 is going to be goals, based off of what Alex wants to accomplish and what he's put in his portfolio. How good is he at securing those goals? Number 3, diversification. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You make sure you're prepared for a lot of different scenarios. Number 4, niches. There's 5 different niches we're going to cover when I get there that I do think people should have some exposure to. And in this video, I'm going to explain a little bit more why those niches are so important. Number 5, though, risk to reward. Are you risking the right amount to get your right award? We're going to be scoring them step by step. I'll give a final score, and then I'll tell you what I think that this whole portfolio can accomplish. But with that said, let's start off with our section number 1, coin selection. And again, this is where it gets super, super simple. And I love it about how Alex has assembled this portfolio. Let's get into it. He has 7 coins. Love it. Simple, simple, simple. Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, Chainlink, Cardano, ICP, and Pepe. I want to start off by saying the first 5, I absolutely hold them. The other 2, I actually at one point have held both of them in my portfolio. I no longer hold them right now, some different reasons. But here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to give him a great score. I'm going to give Alex an 8 on coin selection. I love the 5 that he chose. Those are 5 of my top holdings. I think XRP is excluded. XRP would make it into my top grouping as well, but love Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, Link, and Cardano. So for that reason, he's getting a very high score. And the reason I'm not docking him more points, I don't hold ICP or Pepe. ICP is a very intriguing project that I still think could have a good bull market, but there are things on the charts that concern me, especially this most recent rally in last December of 2024. It didn't get higher than it got over the summer. So there's a couple coins in that same ballpark that concern me a little bit. I still think you can make money on ICP, but I don't hold it anymore. And same thing with Pepe. I'm not a meme guy. Honestly, though, Pepe is one of the ones that I would say if I was going to hold memes, it probably would be one I hold. But I'm just going to give you a light 2-point deduction. The 5 up top, love them. Other 2, ICP and Pepe, I do believe are a little riskier. The good news is, and we're going to get into this with your goals and different things, you're not necessarily holding a lot of these coins. So you're not hurting yourself really bad whatsoever. But I'm going to give you an 8 on that first section of coin selection. Good job. Number 2, goals. Now, you submitted in your portfolio review, you said you have a goal of getting to roughly 4 to 5x of your portfolio. And what's important here is if you had submitted your portfolio and said, hey, I have $10,000 invested in crypto, I would have told you, hey man, we gotta hit a little further. We gotta go a little higher than just 4 to 5x. Turning 10,000 into best case scenario $50,000. It's not going to do it's great. I don't want to poop on that, but it not going to be where you really want it to be. But you have a portfolio currently at the time of making this video worth roughly $719,000. So Your goal here of getting just under 4 million, love that goal. And I'm going to show you in this video later on when I get into the price prediction portions of it. I think you're going to hit that goal. I love how you set this goal. I can't remember the other ones if I've given a 10. You're getting a 10 on goals. I think you understand your wealth. You understand with that simplistic portfolio what you expect it to do. You hit this right on the nail. Cannot give you a better score. You're getting a 10 for goals. I love what you're doing here. Happy to talk about those numbers here in just a little bit. Let's go to number 3, diversification. And I wrestled with this one because we're going to get into niche. Your worst score is going to be in the niche category, and I'll explain why. But diversification, as I'm looking here, it's time to go in and look at the prices per coin that you have and explain why you got the score that you got. Let's start off, though. Bitcoin, you have roughly 3.11 Bitcoin worth at the time of making this video, $329,000, $329,600, but we'll just round it to a number, $329,000. That is not quite half of your portfolio. It's 45%. And I know I docked some other accounts for that, but I'll explain why I'm not necessarily against it in this video here in just a second. But Solana, you have 702 worth roughly $169,000. Sui, you have 30,600 roughly worth $127,000. Chainlink, you have 3,100 worth roughly $78,000. Cardano, you have 9,500 worth roughly $9,300. And then you have your 637 ICP worth $5,800 and Pepe. This one was funny to me. And I sent a message back to him. Pepe, you might as well not even have this in the portfolio because you have 363,000 Pepe, but this coin is not highly valued. You roughly have $4.75 of Pepe. So Pepe is almost just thrown it here as like, hey, it looks like you just left a little bit in your account. It almost is going to be a non-factor at this point now. So not worried about Pepe. I'm giving you a 7 for diversification. And the reason why is even though you technically have 45% in Bitcoin, you then have 23% in Solana, 17% in Sui, 10% in Chainlink. I actually think this is a good level right here. I think especially with you having a larger portfolio worth about 700,000, you're only looking for a 4 to 5x, getting you close to $4 million. The diversification here is good. I will say later in the video, I think that a little bit more should be coming into Cardano, and I think there is at least one, if not 2 other coins that you should be adding to this portfolio for proper diversification, and that's going to come in the world of niches. But I'm going to give you a passing grade because honestly, you have a lot of money here. You want to protect that wealth. I'm okay with you having 45% in Bitcoin and then kind of spreading the wealth amongst 3 others. I'm going to suggest that I would move a little bit more into some other coins, and I'll explain that towards the end of the video. But you got a 7 for diversification. Good score, passing score, but it could improve just a little bit. Let's get into niches, and this is going to be your worst score, but let's explain the niche category. So there are 5 niches in crypto that I do believe you should have exposure to. Number 1, you should have exposure to proper layer 1s. Okay, you got that. You got Solana, you got Sui, you got Cardano. You're good to go there. Number 2, you should be exposed to real world assets. Chainlink is my favorite and now officially is the number 1 ranked real world asset token. You're covered there. If you wanted to throw in like Ondo or AVAX, you could, but I'm not docking you for not having those. You already have a real world asset and you have probably the best one to have. So Chainlink, you're doing good. ISO 222 tokens. You got Cardano over here. That's going to be a very good one to have. Where you're missing 2 categories here. And one of them, I'm going to dock your points for. And the other one, I'm going to lightly dock, but not be too serious. The 4th one is DPIN. DPIN is a niche that some people think is not that important, but I do believe people should be exposed because if this niche pops off and if we start to see a lot of money flowing into it, you don't want to be left out on the sideline. I do think that DPIN plays a long-term future in how crypto is integrated into the world. So having some exposure is a big deal. The 5th niche is AI. And of course, this last week, we saw a big shock to the whole crypto AI space as DeepSeek came out from China, sending chaos in the markets. I still think you should have exposure to AI. And the reason why is because even though everything fell and it hasn't quite bounced back yet, it could have plummeted a lot further to the downside. There's still some larger institutional investors holding on, thinking that AI is going to be a big play. So I'm not going to hurt you too much for not holding AI, even though I think you should have it. DPIN, though, not having a DPIN project, I do think could come back to bite you in the butt should DPIN say coins start to take off. So this one, you're going to get a 6. You have 3 of the 5, but missing 2 of the 5 big niches. The reason I want people to have all 5 is for the just in case. Maybe DPIN or AI doesn't take off in this bull market, and you're going to do just fine. But what happens if maybe we do see real world assets or ISO? I don't see them not performing well, but maybe they don't perform well. All of a sudden, DPIN and AI just soars. Everything attached to those niches soar. You don't want to be left out looking at that. So you're going to get a 6 on niches. The only grade of all of these that I would say, hey, we got to make an improvement here because this is not a passing score. You want to have at least a 7. All right, so that's going to be a niche. Let's move on to the 5th and final criteria, and that's risk to reward. Similar to goals here, I'm going to give you a 10. I think you know exactly what you want. I think you have the portfolio that's going to get there. Again, could you even go higher than this? There's a chance you'd go higher than this, but I love protecting this amount of wealth with a heavy assessment in Bitcoin. And I look at these coins, Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, Chainlink, Cardano. These aren't going to fail. These coins are all going to do very, very well. So I really look at your risk to reward. You're not risking a lot, and you're adequately going to get your reward. In fact, I actually think there's a chance you go above what you're looking for in this. So you're getting a 10 here. This is the highest score that I have awarded in Rate My Portfolio. Alex scored a 41. He still has 9 points left that he could get to if he were to make a couple of changes, but that's a great score, phenomenal score. Love this portfolio, Alex. The couple things I would change, and then we're going to get into price predictions and where I see this portfolio going. A couple of things I would change. Number one, Solana and Cardano, I would balance them out. Not 50-50, but with you having $169, almost $170,000 worth of Solana, but only $9,300 of Cardano, I would say get Cardano in that same category as Link. Get it closer towards $70,000. Maybe take a little bit from Solana, a little bit from Sui, and get Cardano a little bit higher up, more balanced. So it's almost like, hey, I'm hefty in Bitcoin. Don't worry about that. Don't touch it. That's going to protect your wealth here. But Solana probably only has a 5-6 realistic X left in it. I think Cardano could get a little higher than that. I think Cardano could still have a 10X or higher left in it. So you want to definitely sort those out, get a little bit fairer there. And that's going to be a big thing I would do to change this portfolio. Just move some money from Solana and Sui, diversify it a little bit better, and get it into Cardano. The other thing, like I said, on the niche front, let's fix the niches. I'm not going to say you absolutely have to get an AI, right? I would recommend getting into some sort of AI like Render or FET or Near, but I will say you need to add some sort of DPIN. I myself love Jasmy, but if you want to go a little more conservative, you can go with Tau. You can go, there's a couple other good ones in the DPIN space, but I do think you should have some exposure. Maybe not $70,000 worth. Maybe just make it roughly somewhere in the world of 5% of your portfolio at most. But I would be exposed to some sort of DPIN. And with those changes, if you were to reassess some of your higher holdings into Cardano, balance that out, if you were to add a DPIN in there like Tau, like Jasmy, honestly, I could see this portfolio being a perfect 10, perfect 50, getting all the way up there. I guess coin selection, maybe if you didn't have ICP and Pepe and you just brought in a DPIN and an AI instead, that would be a perfect 10. This would be a 50 score on my portfolio ratings list. But again, this is not financial advice. That's just how I would change the portfolio. You're free to do whatever you think is best. And now that we've gotten through the review process, let's get into the price prediction process. Where will this $700 and almost $20,000 portfolio be in 3 different scenarios? We're going to look at a disappointing bull market. What can we accomplish here? In a realistic and conservative bull market, what can we accomplish? And then, of course, in a moon situation, a moon boy situation where everything goes berserk, where can we see these coins getting to, and where would your portfolio be? Let's start with the low end. Let's start with a disappointing bull market. $150,000 Bitcoin, disappointing. Solana, disappointing price prediction, roughly $500. Just did a Solana price prediction video on the channel. Go check it out after this is over. I see at the bare minimum Solana getting to $500. That's a little over 2x from here. Sui, bare minimum $20. That would be very disappointing if we only made it to $20. Chainlink, $145 would be the low end. Cardano, only to $4. ICP only to $20, Pepe only to 4 zeros and then 4762, right? So currently it's hovering about 4 zeros, 1308. Again, this isn't going to mean a lot because you have $4 of Pepe, but that's where I see those getting. If this disappointing scenario played out, your $720,000 portfolio would turn roughly into a $1.9 million portfolio, or in other words, a 2.7x. No, it's not hitting your goals, but honestly, if we have a disappointing bull market and you walk away with almost $2 million in crypto, you have a very successful portfolio right there. Let's move to the realistic, though. What do I actually think by the end of this year we could have at the end of the bull market? Bitcoin, I'm going to be conservative here because I think it goes higher, but let's just say 200,000. I'm very conservative. 200,000 for Bitcoin, $1,100 for Solana, $50 for Sui, $364 for Chainlink, $7 for Cardano, $50 for ICP, and then for Pepe, the 3 zeros and then 11904. This would put that portfolio all the way above 4,165,000. This would be almost a 6x, but above that 4 to 5x that your goal was. And so this is why you got those 10s, is because you were only thinking somewhere between 3 to 4 million. I think a very realistic scenario is this portfolio ends up going above $4 million. Love to see that. But what happens if the moon boy potential happens? What happens if the bull market extends into 2026 and all these coins hit their full-blown crazy ceiling potential in this bull market? Bitcoin, $350,000. Solana, $2,000. Sui, $80. Chainlink, $727. Cardano to $10. ICP to $100. And Pepe cracking up here into 3 zeros, 23809. Again, that would only work out to $86 in Pepe, so not a big deal. But your portfolio in that Moon Boy scenario would be all the way up at $7,381,000, a 10x in your portfolio. Am I expecting that 10x? No. Alex, I think that you're probably going to be taking profit long before that 10x. But either way, that is something that I think this portfolio is amazing. It's going to give you exactly what you want and a whole lot more. And if you want to make it just a little bit better, maybe take some of those tweaks that I talked about earlier in the video. That's going to wrap up this one, though. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like and hit subscribe. And if you want to have your portfolio reviewed, like I said, make sure to join our free Discord link down below. You can submit your portfolio just like Alex did. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Adios. Well, looky there. You made it to the end of the video. That means you either really liked it or really hated it. And either way, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below because it really does help us create better content for you, the viewers. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to check out our channel because we have a lot of content just like this as we seek to help educate every single person on how to actually create financial freedom for themselves and their families. But to make sure that you see those videos, hit that subscribe button and like all of our content as it really does help us out. If you want to go a step further and connect with the bros even more, make sure to check out our free Discord down below where the chat never stops and you'll be surrounded by a community of people just like you who want to better themselves. Go ahead and click on it. We'll see you in the next one.